David Phelps sits in a softly lit room, bathed in the warm glow of a single lamp. His hands rest gently on the arms of his chair. There's a calmness in his expression, not just peace, but a quiet strength that only comes from having weathered life's storms. He inhales deeply, as if ready to open a door he's kept closed for far too long. "People know my voice," he begins. "They know the songs, the albums, the performances. But not many know the person behind all of it." With those few words, David Phelps invites us into a deeply personal world, one where success didn't come wrapped in glamour or ease. Where music wasn't just a job or a platform, it was his purpose, his escape, his sanctuary. And for the first time, he's ready to share the full story, the battles, the breakthroughs, and the moments that nearly ended it all. In the beginning, it felt like a dream. The lights, the crowds, the thunderous applause. He was touring across the country, standing on stages in front of thousands who sang every word with him. The energy was electric. For a while, it fueled him. It felt like home. But behind the curtain, something else was growing. The constant travel, the sleepless nights, the calendar filled with interviews, rehearsals, meetings, and always more demands. More songs, more shows, more of him. The passion that once ignited his soul began to flicker, slowly consumed by the weight of expectations. And then came the silence, not on the stage, but inside. Despite being surrounded by fans and admiration, David felt an overwhelming sense of isolation. The world saw a man living his dream, but they didn't see the birthdays missed in hotel rooms, the family milestones celebrated without him, the friendships that slowly dissolved with every mile added to the tour. Night after night, he'd scroll through photos, laughing children, aging parents, old friends growing distant. And in those quiet moments, he'd ask himself the question no one wants to face. Is this what success looks like? And if it is it worth it? As time passed, another question crept in, darker, heavier. Do I still sing because I love it, or because I'm afraid of what happens if I stop? In an industry that praises relevance over rest, even the most passionate artists can start to feel like products. No matter how loud the applause, it never quite drowned out the pressure to outdo himself, to keep proving his worth, to stay needed. One night, after a particularly exhausting show, David sat alone in his dressing room. The cheers still echoed in the background, but they felt distant, hollow. He looked into the mirror and barely recognized the man staring back. For the first time, he whispered to himself, "Is this really what I want?" And for the first time, he didn't know the answer. He had spent years chasing the spotlight, but now, all he wanted was to run from it. The exhaustion, the expectations, the loneliness, it had drained him. And for the first time, he seriously considered walking away from it all. Then came the breaking point. After a grueling tour, he returned home, hoping to find comfort, but instead, he found distance. His children had grown. His family had adjusted to celebrating without him. Even his reflections seemed foreign. He sat down at his piano, the same place he once poured his soul into melodies. But this time, nothing came. No joy, no inspiration, just silence. Desperate for answers, for clarity, he returned to a place he hadn't visited in years, a small, abandoned church where he once sang as a child. The pews were worn. Dust covered everything. The stained glass was cracked. But within that stillness, he found something. It wasn't empty. It wasn't broken. It was sacred. He sat at the front and closed his eyes. And for the first time in what felt like forever, he sang. Not for the crowd. Not for the label. Not even for the legacy. He sang for himself. And his voice, raw, vulnerable, real, echoed through the empty halls, touching something in him that had long been buried. For the first time in years, something inside David stirred, a feeling he thought had long been buried. It wasn't the hunger for fame, nor was it the need for validation that had once driven him. It was the pure, untainted love for music, the very reason he had begun singing in the first place. That night, in the quiet of his solitude, David made a promise to himself, a vow to no longer let the unforgiving industry define who he was. He would no longer chase the fleeting shadows of fame or the hollow applause of the masses. He would create music that resonated with his soul, even if it meant sacrificing the bright lights of commercial success. He set boundaries. He learned to say no to the toxic demands that drained him. He made space for the people who mattered most, the ones who saw him for who he truly was. As David reflects on his journey, a profound truth settles within him. Success has never been about the sales, the awards, or the size of the crowds that cheered his name. No, real success is found in something deeper, something intangible. It's in the letters from fans who've shared how his songs lifted them from their darkest days. It's in the young voices he mentors, reminding them that their worth isn't dictated by an industry that often overlooks the heart. It's in those quiet moments, sitting with his family, knowing he made the right choice, choosing balance over burnout. David's heart is at peace. He has no regrets. Every struggle, every rejection, every painful moment of doubt has led him here, to this place of clarity and purpose. He's no longer chasing approval or seeking to fill the hollow spaces left by external validation. Instead, he's embracing his purpose, a purpose that runs deeper than any applause or accolade. For David, music was never just a way to entertain. It was a vehicle for healing. It was a bridge to connect, to inspire, and to reach souls in ways nothing else could. He knows now that the true power of music lies not in the fleeting moments of fame but in the enduring impact it has on lives. As he looks ahead, David doesn't worry about the charts, the awards, or the spotlight. His focus has shifted. Now, he's driven by a greater calling, to create songs that matter, songs that transcend time. Whether performing on a grand stage or quietly in his own home, he knows that his voice will echo long after the lights fade. At the end of the day, it was never about the stage or the accolades. It was always about the song that lived within him. And with that, David Phelps smiles, knowing that his legacy isn't just etched in his music, it's alive in the hearts of those who truly listened.